Hi guys, and welcome to Tasha Tuesday. Today we're going to dive deep into my childhood and we're going to talk about 3 shows I was obsessed with as a kid. So let's get started. So the very first show I was obsessed with was Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes, this is the entire first season on DVD and the movie, which I did go see in cinemas when it was there for select time when I was younger. It was great. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a Japanese anime and now manga, I believe, and it follows this boy Yugioh as he comes across this ancient Egyptian artifact which contains a spirit, and this spirit is kind of the very opposite of him. Yugi is very reserved, quiet, and Yami, which is the spirit in the actual necklace, and Yugi and the spirit are very opposite, and it kind of is their interactions with each other because they do get along. But it also follows this card game called Duel Monsters, and the whole point of the show is that Duel Monsters is how people solve problems. If we have an issue, we would duel for it, and that's how we would determine who the winner is. They have national rank championships, and the first season, which is the one that I love the most, follow Yugi and his friends going on a quest to this island full of top duelists, and they are trying to win prizes for various reasons. You can win money, or you can have, there's a blank card where you can win anything you want, and each of them have their own personal story as to why they are there and why they want to win. The characters are Yugioh, which is the main character, Yami Yugi, which is the spirit attached to Yugi and his pendant. There is Tristan, Taya, Joey, Kaiba, and Mokuba would be like the top 7, and then you have other characters like Mei and Weevil, and they kind of just come and go. The main villain in season 1 is Pegasus, and he's the owner and founder of the current version of Duel Monsters, and it's his competition that everyone is trying to beat him to win the grand prize. I have binge watched this show multiple times since finishing it when I was younger, so I do remember a lot of what happens and my favorite episodes and stuff. I remember being really young, and Taya was my favorite character because she was there, she was the cheerleader, she was the support, and I remember going into a card store and wanting to buy her deck of cards and it not being available. And I remember crying so much because all I wanted was Taya's deck of cards and they didn't have it, and I was so upset. I remember 2 episodes really distinctly, and the first one is in season 1, like the 4th episode, where Yugi is battling Weevil, who is a bug duel monster collector, and he had this big old moth, and I remember being really young, eating breakfast, and being so disgusted by the cocoon that they had in the show. I remember I couldn't finish my breakfast because I thought it was so disgusting. The second episode I remember is during season 2, and it's when Serenity, Joey's little sister, is about to have her bandages removed because of her eye surgery, and Joey is not himself. He's like being taken over and possessed, and I remember him like battling between himself, being like, Serenity, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And bad Joey's like, I don't care. And I just remember being like really sad and being like on the edge of my seat, being like, oh my god, is he gonna be okay? Like, is he gonna be able to see Serenity? Is Serenity gonna be able to see him? And I remember it just being like a huge deal at the time. I'm not 100% sure why I liked this show as a kid. I like it now for nostalgia reasons and because I think it's still a pretty good story. When I was younger, I think I just liked it because it had something to do with cards, and my dad played a lot of card games, so it was something that we could bond over. So now I get to the fun part, and I get to show you everything I own from this one series. You guessed it, this box contains my original copy versions of Yu-Gi-Oh decks. So I have 4 of the original character decks: Joey, Kaiba, Pegasus, and of course, Yugi. I remember associating each character with a certain color. Pegasus would always wear a red suit, Joey would always wear a green jacket, so I really wanted to make sure each character was put into their right colored sleeves, because if you have a look, my cards are actually covered in protective plastic because they meant so much to me. And I remember my dad did that all, and he got the colors wrong, and me as a little brat made him take them all out and switch them to the right color. So thanks, Dad. You can still play Duel Monsters as a card game. I used to always play as Yugi because he was the main character. My dad would always play as Kaiba, and my sister would always play as Joey. We never really got around to playing Pegasus's deck because it would come into shadow monsters, and we just didn't know how to use shadow monsters. We tried to learn, but it was really, really hard. And then this is my deck, which I never actually played because I just put in really pretty cards and cards that I thought were really cool instead of actually trying to make a deck. So on this first page I have all shiny ones. This is Blue Eyes White Dragon, the Dark Paladin. Who are these? Just other shiny ones that I didn't even know what they did. They were just shiny and I thought they were really pretty, which is why I put, look, more shiny Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It's like shiny Pokemon cards, but for Yu-Gi-Oh. For those of you who are wondering, yes, I do have my favorite Duel Monsters card. It is Dark Magician Girl, which is the female version of the Dark Magician, which is Yu-Gi-Oh's favorite card, but it's just a female version, which I think she's pretty badass and cool. Guys, I don't think you understood how long it took me to get through this first one. So we're gonna move on to the second one on this list. Here in my hand contains all of season 1 and season 2 of the Winx Club. So this is actually a French animation, which I only found out a couple of weeks ago. It follows the character of Bloom, who is adopted, but then finds out that she is actually of magical descent and discovers that she is a fairy from an unknown world. She then goes to attend the school of Althea, and along the way she meets her friends Stella, Flora, Musa, Tecna, and Layla. I know a lot of A's there. In season 1, she has to discover who she is, where she's come from, why she was not there anymore, and along the way, obviously villains appear, which are the witches. Ooh. The witches are Stormy, Darcy, and Icy, and they are the 3 evil witches that I believe plague them throughout the whole show. Each season they get worse and worse, you know, coming up with more evil plans. And there is also the boys' school for heroes. I know, fairies and heroes and then witches. It's very magical and wonderful. I haven't really watched this show since the end of season 2. I don't know anything past season 2 other than like little snippets that I hear if it comes across my YouTube channel, or if I happen to be like, oh, I remember Winx Club. But other than that, don't know anything else past season 2. What I do remember is that my favorite character was Bloom, and that I really wanted to be a fairy when I was younger. I actually came up with a whole outfit that I would wear when I transformed into a fairy, which obviously contained purple glitter. Still in my head, I can remember exactly what it looked like. I'd love to cosplay as my own fairy one day. So I didn't really watch past season 2 just because I was kind of growing out of it at that time, and we had season 1 and 2 on DVD, and season 3 hadn't really appeared on TV at the time that we kind of stopped watching, so that kind of all led to not watching more. My favorite character was Bloom. I remember one distinct episode where they were all in trouble and they had their powers taken away, and then they had to clean the whole of Althea and no one else was there. They were all out on excursion or something, and they decided to have a party. But at the party, the 3 bad witches would come along, and then instead of having powers to fight the witches, they kind of had to use like Home Alone like stuff and had to use brooms to fight them off, and it was interesting to say the least. I also want to point out it is the most unoriginal spells in the entire world. I remember there was one spell which was Magicus Removicus, which was removing the powers from the girls. I really love this show because I was pretty girly as a kid. I loved fairies. I had my own fairy garden. I would dress up as fairies. I went to the Fairies Live-In concert. So when this came up when I was just a little bit older, like, you know, 7 or 8 when this was here, I was obsessed. I was like, yes, this is fairies for me. Still to this day, I would love to dress up as one of the Winx Club fairies, or even create my own original character for it. I have in my mind exactly what I want to wear, which is still the same outfit that I wanted to wear when I was younger. It's just more appropriate to wear now because they wear very skimpy outfits. Along with the DVDs, I also had dolls to do with the Winx Club and a video game. The dolls I believe I gave to charity a few years ago, but I still have the computer game. I remember getting to the ice planet for the 2nd time and getting stuck and not knowing what to do. So I kind of really want to go back and play the game, so maybe I'll do that later today for like nostalgia reasons, so who knows. Number 3 on this list is Kim Possible, and these are the only things I have from Kim Possible merchandise, which are 2 of the movies and then 2 episodes which are just like random. It's got the Villains Files, which has 5 episodes containing 5 different villains, and then the Secret Files, which is all about literally just random episodes. So I love Kim Possible. To this day, I will still watch episodes. So for those of you who don't know, Kim Possible is a Disney Channel original series, and it follows Kim Possible as she goes on adventures to save the world. As well as saving the world, she also does high school at the same time and has to balance everything at once. And I loved this show as a kid. It was one of the shows that I watched and I was like, oh my god, this is like amazing. Like, she's a female, she's kicking ass. Like, it was kind of the opposite of what everything else was at the time, I would say. By her side is her best friend, Ron Stubble, who is such a dorky little guy, and then they have Rufus, which is the naked mole rat that goes with them on their adventures. I love Kim Possible so much that I actually have cosplayed as her a couple times. See that? So I loved Kim Possible because she was a badass female and she took no crap from anybody. But she still had real issues as well, you know. She knew how to fight a bad guy, but she would still have issues with boys, and I thought that part was so relatable and it made her like human. And I don't remember a lot of shows that would have people who had both sides. It was either, oh, you're a boy assessed, you're this, you're that, or you're a superhero and you're really badass. And she had both, which I thought made her really human and really cool. So that is 3 of what I would consider my favorite TV shows as a kid. I know there's only 3, but I wanted to go into detail about them. Let me know in the comments below what shows you were obsessed with as a kid and why. I would really love to know. Maybe we share some in common. Don't forget to click that red subscribe button and that bell button to be notified when I post a video, and give this video a big thumbs up. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all next week. Bye!